She has 2 job offers. She's read every article, made the list, run the numbers twice. She's one of the smartest people in the room, and she still can't decide. Because her mind keeps generating one more scenario, one more way it could go wrong. The same intelligence that got her both offers is now the thing keeping her stuck. Tonight, why does being smart so often mean overthinking more, not less? The problem. Maybe it's not a job offer for you. Maybe you're the one who reads every review before buying anything. The one who rewrites an email 5 times before sending it. The one who can solve everyone else's problems in minutes, but can't decide what to order at a restaurant. This isn't a lack of intelligence. It's often the opposite. The same sharp mind that's great at spotting problems at work is now spotting problems in every direction, all the time, including ones that don't exist yet. And it's strangely common among capable, high-achieving people. Many of the most accomplished people you know are quietly exhausted by their own minds, turning every decision into a research project, every conversation into something to replay and grade afterward. Here's what makes it so hard to escape. Thinking has always worked for you. It's how you got good grades, solved hard problems, got ahead. So when something feels uncertain, your instinct is to think harder. More analysis, more angles, more research. But notice, has thinking harder ever actually made an uncertain situation certain? Or did it just produce more thoughts to sort through? So if your best tool, your mind, keeps making this worse, what's actually going on? Why humans struggle with this? Here's something researchers have actually found, and it's a little uncomfortable. A study out of Lakehead University in Canada measured college students' verbal intelligence, their ability to think and reason in words, and how much they worried and ruminated. The result? Higher verbal intelligence was linked to more worry and rumination, not less. The researchers' best explanation was simple. People who are good with words and ideas can imagine the past and future in much greater detail. More vivid memories, more vivid what-if scenarios. The same skill that makes you brilliant at planning or solving problems also makes you brilliant at constructing imaginary disasters. There's an evolutionary piece too. Some researchers think worry and verbal intelligence may have developed together. If you could vividly imagine what might go wrong, you were more likely to avoid it and survive. Your imagination wasn't a flaw. It was once a survival tool. One honest caveat. This is one study on a small group of college students, and intelligence isn't one simple thing to measure. Treat this as a real, interesting clue, not proof that being smart guarantees suffering. What we can say with more confidence is this. Running detailed scenarios in your head is a double-edged tool. Pointed outward at a real problem, it's a strength. Pointed inward at an uncertain future with no fixed answer, it can become a trap with no exit. So if this trap is built from a strength, how do you turn it back into one? Let's see what some of history's deepest thinkers, no strangers to overthinking themselves, worked out. Ancient wisdom compared. 1. Stop adding more thinking on top of thinking. Picture a Zen student sitting across from his teacher, handed a riddle with no logical answer. What is the sound of one hand clapping? He can think about it for years. Thinking will never solve it, and that's exactly the point. Zen has a saying for the trap you're in right now. Don't put a head on top of your head. You already have a mind. Overthinking is building a second mind just to judge the first one, and then maybe a third mind to judge that. Zen teachers train students with koans like this one for exactly that reason. Not to find the clever answer, but to run the analytical mind in circles until it finally gives up trying to think its way out and drops into direct experience instead. Zen's most famous teaching might be this. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The actions don't change. What changes is whether your mind is fully present in the wood and the water, or 3 steps removed, narrating and analyzing every swing of the axe. 2. Mastery isn't more analysis, it's less. In one of the most famous stories from the Taoist text, the Zhuangzi, a cook is asked how his blade has stayed perfectly sharp after 19 years of cutting up oxen. He explains that when he started, he saw a whole, complicated animal and had to think his way through every cut. But after years of practice, he stopped seeing the ox as something to analyze at all. Now his hand simply follows the natural openings already there. He's not thinking less because he's lazy. He's thinking less because the thinking already did its job years ago and got absorbed into skill. The Tao Te Ching makes the same point more directly. In the pursuit of knowledge, something is added every day. In the practice of the Tao, something is dropped every day. Taoism's answer to overthinking isn't to think your way out of it. It's to trust the simpler, quieter knowing that's already there underneath all the noise, the same way the cook trusts his hand. 3. The goal was never more thoughts. It was a quieter mind. Picture a room of students in ancient India waiting for their teacher to define the thing they'd all come to learn. Patanjali didn't hand them a technique. He handed them a definition that still holds up today. Yoga, he said, is the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind, not new tricks for thinking better, just stillness, where the constant churn finally settles. Across Indian philosophy, the untrained mind is often compared to a restless monkey, leaping from one branch, one thought, to the next, never landing anywhere long enough to rest. The practices built around this teaching, meditation, breath control, focused attention, aren't trying to win an argument with your thoughts. They're training the mind to simply stop swinging from branch to branch for a while. Notice something here. None of these 3 ideas, Zen, Taoism, this yogic tradition, try to outthink the overthinking. All 3 aim at the same target: get underneath the thoughts instead of adding more on top. The universal lessons. None of these 3 ever debated the others directly. Read side by side, though, they're clearly having the same conversation. The problem was never that you're not thinking enough, it's that thinking has been put in charge of a job it was never suited for. Finding certainty in things that don't have a certain answer yet. First, the analytical mind is a tool, not a ruler. It's brilliant at solving defined problems. It's terrible at being put in charge of an undefined future. Second, more thinking rarely produces more clarity once you're already past the point of useful information. It mostly just produces more thinking. Third, the way out usually isn't a better thought. It's a different relationship to thought altogether, quieter, less analytical, more direct. Here's where it's worth being honest about a real difference, though. Zen and Taoism suggest you get there mostly by stepping back. Less doing, less forcing, more direct presence. The yogic tradition is more structured about it. Specific practices, repeated daily, training the mind the way you'd train a muscle. One path leans toward letting go. The other leans toward deliberate practice. Both are aiming at the same quiet mind. They just don't agree on how directly you have to work for it. Practical actions. 4 small experiments, each pulled from a different tradition above, worth trying the next time your mind won't stop generating one more scenario. 1. Catch the second mind. From Zen. When you notice you're analyzing your own thoughts, thinking about your thinking, just notice that and come back to whatever is physically in front of you right now. Your hands, your breath, the actual task. 2. Do the task, don't narrate the task. From Taoism. Pick one small, repeated activity, cooking, walking, cleaning, and do it without commentating on it in your head. Let your hands learn it the way the cook learned the ox, through repetition, not commentary. 3. Set a deliberation timer, a modern version of the yogic idea of stilling the mind. Give a decision a fixed amount of thinking time, 10 minutes, an hour, a day, depending on how big it is. When the timer ends, The thinking phase is officially over, even if it doesn't feel finished. 4. Redirect the gift. Don't fight it. If the research is right that this comes from a real strength, vivid imagination, detailed thinking, point that same skill at a defined, solvable problem instead of an open-ended worry. Give your mind a real puzzle to chew on, and it will often let go of the made-up one. None of this makes your mind less sharp. It just stops your sharpest tool from being aimed at the one target it was never built to hit. Here's the strange comfort in this. If you overthink, it's probably not because something is wrong with your mind. It's because something is right with it, and it's currently pointed in the wrong direction. The same sharpness that keeps you up at night replaying conversations is the sharpness that solves real problems for people who need you. It was never a flaw to fix. It was a tool to aim. So tonight, when your mind starts building one more pro and con list nobody asked for, you don't have to fight it, and you don't have to finish it either. Whatever you're turning over right now will still be there tomorrow, exactly as solvable as it is this second. It doesn't need you awake for it. Your mind has done enough today. Let it rest.